Welcome back to the barn Q&A today. We got a special guest, Rachel Strickland, and of
Hey
course I'm
guys.
Chris, and there's Leroy. And what we're going to do is we're going to blow Rachel up here for a little bit and let her introduce herself and talk to you guys a little bit, tell her about her, and what she does, and anything that she wants to talk about for an intro.
Well, hey guys. My name is Rachel Strickland. I am a full-time reseller and content creator. I live in Missouri in a really small town, so I like to specialize or try to specialize in showing people you can resell from anywhere. I am also a full-time mom of two, so things are a little more complicated when you're reselling and a parent and a housewife and everything, all the things that come along with just being a female reseller. So, if you can find me on YouTube, Rachel Strickland, you can find me on Instagram, Rachel Strickland Official, and I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, let's see. Get you back. Oh, there we go. Whoops, I did it wrong, Leroy.
That's okay. You got it.
There we go. All right. Okay, real quick, I forgot something. Rachel just reminded me to bring something in. So you guys chit chat a little bit, and I will
Sure.
be right back.
I just saw in the chat, my dad popped in the chat. So, hi, Dad.
Oh, that's your dad. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's it. I swear I tell everybody I've got the most supportive parents on the internet. Wherever I'm at, they're gonna pop. I've sent him the link earlier. I was like, just in case you're bored. So, but I'm excited tonight. Have you guys now? Maybe it's been a week or two since I jumped in while Chris was live. Have you been co-hosting with him?
Yes. Well, I've done one show with them,
Okay, I must have just missed the one. I'm like I miss hardly
yeah,
anything, and that's
and I
awesome.
was away last week, but I come in when I can. Not I'm on a couple other shows, so it gets a little hectic.
Perfect.
But I've actually had the pleasure to meet Rachel at one of the conferences, and I've learned a lot from your channel, and we've talked before about tools, and I've talked to you about vintage stuff before. So having that community is very important.
Oh yeah,
You got to watch out who you have around you, but
true.
but having the community is very important. For me, that's
There's always someone in the community that knows exactly what you need to know about something, and you can message them real quick and glean from their knowledge and their expertise.
I found the guy the other day that I've never seen before. And I was back home up north, and I was watching his video, and I picked up so many things from this guy. I've never seen him before.
Nice.
Because you get stuck in you get stuck in a community, or in,
Mhm.
I hate to say a clique, but you get
Yeah.
stuck in a group, and you don't realize that you can venture out and see other things and see how people do stuff. This guy
Yeah.
was telling me all the things that I know how to do, but the way that he brought it to me was
Mhm.
like, holy moly, it was such an eye opener.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, you said you was from Missouri last night, and then your husband is a huge Tennessee Vol fan, if I'm
Yeah.
correct, right?
Yeah, because he's from Cookeville, Tennessee.
Okay, so with you being from Missouri, are you a Missouri fan at all?
Of like Mizzou
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Chiefs, or I
the
don't watch
college football team.
football at all.
Well, I was just going to tell you, you could tell your husband, I hope that they get one of these soon.
Nice. Is that
It's Georgia.
Georgia?
Georgia
Yes,
Okay.
Bulldogs.
yes, yes. I'm a huge Georgia fan, so we play Mizzou this weekend, tomorrow
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah, and then we got Tennessee in a couple weeks. So
Yeah, I've had people sit down and explain football to me, and I couldn't tell you a single rule now. I've never had any interest in football, and I like sports. I love baseball. I could watch baseball all day, and I love to run and track and field. I love everything about that, but football, it just does not do it for me.
Yeah.
So I know from watching your video last night, and I don't know how many of my viewers watch you, but I want to go into how did you get involved in reselling? I know for what you said last night in your thing, but I want to recap that with you. Let you
Sure.
recap that here if you don't mind.
Yeah. So I had my oldest son. I was pretty young. I was 20 years old, turning 21 in a couple months, and so I didn't have a whole lot of discretionary funds, non-discretionary, I guess. So I thrifted out of necessity, and I would find so many cool things at the thrift store, and I thought, man, I really love this, but it's not my size, or my family doesn't need this, and I hated to leave it behind because sometimes they would be like $400 pair of pants and they weren't my size. And one day I was watching a YouTube video, and a girl was talking about how she found stuff at the thrift store and she was selling it. And I thought, people do that? What is this? And then I heard slowly people talking about the Goodwill bins, and our closest bins is 3 hours, and I made the 3 hour one way. So I made the 6 hour round trip, picked up some stuff, started an well, I already had it at eBay because I sold a semi truck on eBay a few years prior.
Wait a minute, back up. Like a real semi truck?
Yeah. So I already had an eBay account, and I listed the purses that I found at the bins on there, and then they sold, and I was like, oh, and I maybe at the time I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I thought this is a way I could stay at home and make money and not have to ever take him to daycare. And I never really looked back.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So these
are my folks. Hi, Mom. But Jean is my dad, and Lisa is my mom.
What's really interesting is I'm a Phillips also.
I know. I saw that. I was like, when you messaged me on Instagram, that's my maiden name.
Yeah, that's interesting. So my wife was telling me a little bit about, because she remembers the product that she was doing your first videos with. What was that product again called?
Influencer is the name of the company.
So
those videos were so embarrassing.
Right. I mean, yeah. You had some pretty good. I love the blue hair, by the way. Guys,
thanks.
Listen, everyone, please, you've got to go check out Rachel Strickland's channel and watch her live from last night. She's got old videos in there of her first videos up into her resale videos, and she's even got one in there that's got blue hair. Guys, you got to watch that stuff.
Well, you're kind of roasting me last night.
Yeah, that was really funny. We had a really good time. We did. We had a really good time with that. That was a lot of fun. So if you're just joining us, I want everyone to know it's my fault. We don't have a topic today, so we're just it's gonna be up in the air kind of deal, and we're just gonna talk back and forth. Leroy, if you got anything input, please chime in. I mean, like I said, we're gonna be doing a show without a topic today.
Yeah, I have a question for Rachel. So I had spoke to Chris about this, and we've spoken as well. When you're doing any kind of like social media or what we're doing, you should always think about what's happened for you within the last, say the last 6 hours of your day or the last 24 hours. And whatever we learn every day. If you don't say that you learn every day, then it's silly, because something happens in your reselling business. Either it's a return, either it's you ship something wrong, you did a label wrong. And what I always try to do is I always try to take something that's happened fresh in my memory. And that would be, I don't do a lot of videos, but that would be a topic if I'm on a channel. What is something within the last 24 hours for you, Rachel, that you would say, you know what, I could do a video, and I could be your show last night?
So I actually am learning something right now. I need to explore it a little bit, but this is really interesting. And I love that you say that you learn through mistakes or through things that go wrong. It's so important that we realize that, because there's a lot of value when things go wrong. I was just running with my friend, and we were talking about how it's the hard runs that we learn more about ourselves. But one of my friends listed a plush on eBay. It was a TY, like the large plush. So not a Beanie Baby, but Thai brand, elephant. And she had someone bought it, I guess, on an offer. And then they said, well, I'm not able to pay for it. I don't understand why. It's saying that it won't ship to the UK. And so she messages me and she says, Rachel, what is this? I'm thinking maybe they're trying to get out of it. They don't want it. In that case, just cancel it for them. But she said, no, they really want it. And she called the number that she had for eBay, and no one was able to help her with anything. I said, well, you need to get a hold of eBay for Business on Facebook. Try that, because I've heard good things. I don't know if they'll be able to help you. But interesting. And I want to know if anyone in the chat has had this happen. I said, what is the title? And so she gives me the title. And I said, because there's something about the item. I had a separate friend once who wanted to sell something with the Greek god or goddess Nike. And they were trying to sell it to a country that doesn't allow Nike shoes to be sold there. And so the item was blocked. I said, what is your title? And when I saw elephant in there, I said, I wonder if it's a block for the ivory trades. And she said, okay, hey, Anthony, she said, I'm going to totally relist it with just the buyer's name. She didn't put anything in the description or anything, and it still is blocked to ship to the UK. And so, she and I were talking about it. She's like, this would be a good idea for a video about how certain items that shouldn't be blocked are getting snagged by the eBay algorithm, and you're unable to sell them. Because I know, like, in certain countries, you can't sell Disney. You can't sell vintage glasses with prescription lenses. You can't sell knives, anything that would cause the algorithm to even suspect that you're trying to ship those things. It's not going to allow you to ship it. But what do you think it was about the stuffed animal being an elephant?
I have no idea.
Did you find out what it was?
No, we still don't know. I said I got to get to the bottom of this, so maybe I'll research it for a video.
And if anybody in the chat knows, put it in the chat,
right?
And we'll go back and we'll look at it, or in the comments if you're watching this for the time. Please put it in the comments so we can go back and look at that as well. Yeah, that's crazy. I just don't understand.
Really weird.
Now I'll tell you something happened to me weird here recently. Is I bought a pair of Harley Davidson boots.
Oh yeah.
I paid up on them. I paid like $25 for them. I'm trying to pull them up here, and when I sold them, they went overseas. But of course, it went eBay international shipping. So let me see if I can get to it here. I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead and talk some more while I look this up.
Hey, Drew, I just saw Drew popped in. Hi, I hope you got the whole deck stained. He was staying in the deck, poor guy. The things you do when you come home from work, right?
Hey, Drew, I hope you videoed that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he was staying in it earlier when I came home before my run, and I walked out there and I was like, are you recording? Because I never know if he's working on something around the house now. I never know when there's a video going on, and he likes to do time lapse and stuff and, speed it up. Oh, hey, Rachel.
All right, I'm going to look this up real quick. I'm sorry. I'm not prepared.
No, it'd be interesting. While you're looking that up, I know Scott Cha-Ching King, he had sold a knife once, and he found it later with his pictures relisted. He ended up tracking it down, and it was going GSP. Of course, when they go to ship it, they were like, oh, we can't ship this, internationally. So they took it, and eBay actually auctions off those items. So you don't get it returned. You get to keep your money, and they auction off the items to the highest bidder, and they provide your listing photos to them.
So that's what happened.
Oh, does this explain your story of what's going to happen?
Okay, here we go. Right here. All right. Here we go. Let me pull the screen up. I'm going to share it. I just found it as you were saying that. Share screen.
I want to know where they auction those things, because I would be interested as a buyer.
Where do you find share screen at on here?
Down in present at the bottom.
I got invite, present. There we go. Let's see, share screen. We want to do this one here. Okay, so these boots right here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so these boots right here. All right, the buyer paid. See, it shows nothing now. Okay, yeah. So I got a new offer. So the subtotal was $70 plus shipping. It was $86.45, and then that was my order earnings. Okay. Refunded eBay was $86.45. It did go international shipping because he had the VAT and all that. Well, these boots, they never showed up. And I'm like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, I'm getting a thing saying that they've refunded the buyer.
This is a separate occasion actually from what I was just explaining, but I can explain this one to you too.
Okay. Well, see, when I contacted them about these boots, because this went international shipping, so if you can see here, it went to Glendale Heights, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said they shipped it overseas, but it got lost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying that. I think me and my wife think somebody saw the boots at the place and they says, oh, we're going to keep these, and decided to lose the item,
Surely they have nicer things come through than some Harley boots.
Surely they do.
Trusted.
Surely they
But-
do.
No, this is actually a new feature of eBay's GSP. So historically, you had to opt into the GSP, but now everyone's kind of opted in unless you say you don't want to. And
Right.
with that, they decided to, I guess, share most of the responsibility and the burden, even as far as returns. If something is returned GSP, then they will handle the return and you keep your money. If it's
Right.
lost, if the insurance, like if there's an insurance claim, like they're handling all of it. Your responsibility and yours really goes as far back as GSP ever was, because your responsibility ends with getting it to Illinois. As soon as you ship it there, you get to keep your money. As long as it arrives there, eBay has to handle it from there.
Right. Well, see, that it wasn't that the item was lost. That's what. Okay. So the guy on the phone, when I called the guy on the phone, he said it was lost. But the email I got said that the item was forbidden at customs.
Oh.
It wasn't allowed in the country. And I'm like, what?
Ah.
And so, and I told him that, and then he come back. Oh yeah, that's so. The guy was giving me two different reasons, and I'm sitting there telling.
It was lost because it's forbidden then, huh?
Right, I told my wife, I says they absolutely have no idea where it's at, and that's what she said. Yeah, they do. Somebody got that, and they're wearing them right now.
So what is in the chat? Woodrow Blue said, I never came across Harley, but I've heard stories. So have you heard stories that it's forbidden? Does anyone know? Melanie, Anthony, any of you guys know? Or is Harley forbidden in some countries? What country was it going to? Do you know?
Let's see. What it say?
Sometimes it'll show you, like if you click on the buyer's name, then you pull up like their profile, it'll tell you where they're out of.
Oh man, I don't even know where that would be at now.
I know it's kind of hard to find all that.
Yeah.
I feel they need to automatically block things. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Like if there's, and that's, see, we're always saying that, let's automatically block it. Let's automate. But then something about this elephant was automatically blocked. So it's like, we're kind of getting what we asked for, but it looks like they need to tweak it because it's not letting like a harmless stuffed animal get shipped to UK. So that's weird.
Right. Here's what it says on the thing when I go to it here. Let's see. It says, so it's departed the regional facility. It departed there, and it says arrived at shipping hub. I don't know where that is. And then on the 21st, it says it cannot be exported.
Yeah. Then there was something, they got auctioned off. There was something about them being shipped to the country. They got auctioned off though. Yeah.
Golly,
You'll probably find them online later with your listing photos. If you have good photos, which it looks like you did. I kind of want to know what Anthony's making for supper now too.
That's crazy. I don't have that problem a lot because I do tools.
Yeah.
So
I can see
it's
some
like,
of your sharp stuff though.
no. And
No.
I mean, I package it. I know how to package a lot of the shopper stuff, but I've never had anything come back from overseas. Not yet.
Because like sometimes they won't even allow food processors because that could be used
The
as
shop
a knife.
blades.
And I don't know, like HBA, Anthony brings up HBA in his last comment. He said, I've had a separate shipping policy with international and turned off for things I know can't go, like knives, HBA, medicine, etc. Well, some medicines that are perfectly legal here, lidocaine, for instance, you can put like an icy hot patch has lidocaine in it. You cannot, that is not over the counter in other countries. UK being one of them, it's a controlled, not like controlled substance, but it's not available over the counter, so I guess that's controlled. I don't know, whatever. So you can't ship it over there, but nothing's going to stop you from listing it on eBay and then selecting GSP or not selecting to opt out of GSP, and then you get in trouble when it's shipped over there.
Yeah, you keep saying GSP. Isn't that EIS now?
Probably. I think they changed the name of it. Some of us are old school, okay?
Right.
Yeah, for real.
I'm trying to accept checks and money orders in the mail, all right?
I saw a lady yesterday writing her bills out in checks, and I'm like,
I haven't had a checkbook.
Old school.
I'm behind. Like I'm not like way behind, but I'm probably like a step behind. Like I just got an air fryer, and they've been out for like a million years. I don't have an Apple Watch.
I just started listening to Taylor Swift, Leroy, so we're all behind.
Girl, man.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a smart move. I just started listening to motivational stuff. because I always listen to, we're all Christians, and I always listen to,
Like,
worship music and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
we try to stay away
And-
from secular music too.
Yeah, and so I listen to I've been listening to a lot of like just motivational stuff on, a little bit different from what your sermons and stuff. And it's crazy, the stuff that it's not bad. It's just, hearing like billionaires talk.
Yeah. That's
When
good.
they're willing to
Melanie.
share. When they're
Melanie.
willing to share.
Melanie said she got her first air fryer last week.
So I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one.
We use ours
Oh.
quite a bit. We have it's like a toaster oven with a drawer, so it's kind of like a little mini oven, really.
Yeah,
It's a
mine
big
has
one.
the barn doors. Yeah.
Yeah, we got
I think my
the
stove. I
confectional.
think I'm gonna kick my stove out and put
Mhm.
some storage there. I can put some tools.
Is that
in
right?
there.
The confectional oven. It's an air fryer
Convection,
also.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have. So, Rachel, I got a question. I picked up something last night in your show, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say that you started reselling in 2021?
That's when I started my channel about reselling. I started reselling really when I was pregnant with Israel, which was 2000. He was born in 2016,
Okay.
around about that time.
All right. So here we go with this. Then this is a so different. So if you started your channel in 2021, those that are watching that have channels, like small channels, like such as Leroy, and Leroy, he's big time now. He's on Reseller Information Network, and they got it going over there. So when small channel like me, so 2021, that's 2 years, and you've already hit 20,000 subscribers, which congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks.
congratulations.
So what can someone like me as a small YouTube channel do to improve my videos, or what I'm doing to help retain attention for new subscribers?
Well, the channel, I actually started the channel with the influencer stuff like we talked about 8 years ago. And there was no direction whatsoever to the channel. I didn't care if I had like subscribers and stuff. It was there as a reason for me to like post these reviews. And then I started posting a bit more, but it was still kind of aimless. So the first thing I would say is like niche down to one area. And then as you get an audience, you could broaden a little bit. Like I bring my family in more to my videos, things like that. Now, 2021 was when I decided, hey, this is going to be a reseller channel, period. There's going to be a focus. So the first thing would be to focus. Keep it short. Some of my original videos are just so painfully long, and I talk a lot anyway. So I kind of like rattled on and on and on. And then never assume that your audience, like, don't take their intellect for granted. Like if I want to make a thumbnail, sometimes I would second guess myself, and my thumbnails were so basic for so long because I thought the audience isn't going to understand. They probably understand a lot more than what you think, and people read a lot with their eyes just off of a picture, because you could have the most rock star video in the world, and if your thumbnail sucks, sorry for saying that, but if your thumbnail sucks, no one's ever going to know that your video could win an Oscar.
Yeah.
You
So
have
do you-
to get that good thumbnail.
So do you believe the writing of words across a picture for a thumbnail is the best way, or
No.
just leave it natural?
No, and I take I take criticism sometimes really hard. I wear my feelings on my sleeve, but when it comes to my channel, I suck it up buttercup and listen to other people's criticism. And my oldest son was actually the one that got me to stop that. He said, "Mom, why do you have two titles?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You have all these words on your thumbnail, and then you have a title." He said, "No one's reading that." And that was taking from, at the time, a 16-year-old. No one knows YouTube better than a 16-year-old. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Like I know I might know a lot more than he does, but I'm going to take his advice there.
Mhm.
And I talk with Josh Harry Tornado a lot, and he's of the same mindset. And talking with anyone that is great on YouTube will tell you, don't put any words if you can. And if you do put words, like 3 words or less,
Yeah.
don't put words in your thumbnail. And that was one of the things. You can go back to my first videos, and I had entire sentences in my thumbnails, and you can look at my last 10 videos that have done so great for my channel, and some of them have absolutely no words in them. No words. If you can tell, the way Josh said, if you can tell a story without a word, try to make one thumbnail where you can tell the whole story with no words.
No words.
Because when I'm scrolling, I'm not looking at the titles, I'm looking at the thumbnails. And when the thumbnail is so interesting that it just told me a story in half a second, then I go over and read the title.
Yep.
And then if those two things together click and I'm like, I have to know, why did she almost get kicked out of this estate sale? And then I click on it. And that's when you get the value of the video. After that, the first 30 seconds are the most important part of your video, because if you can't get the viewer to watch for 30 seconds, it doesn't count as a view. So people can click in and click out in those first 30 seconds. If you're dull, if you're boring, if they just don't like the color of my hair, that doesn't even count as a view. So I have to get them to hang out for 30 seconds. So it has to be so gripping for the audience in the first 30 seconds that they want to stick around.
So that means I could have a whole lot more views. They're just not entertained the first 30 seconds.
Yep. And if they're out in those first 30 seconds, like, whew, it's not good. It's not good. So keep any intro as short as you can, because if you have a 30-second intro, I can tell you that doesn't count as a view. They're out of there. They didn't even get to see you.
Yeah. 15 to 10 seconds. Even when I do some of my small, like, I don't do a lot of videos, guys, but when I do, like, I learn from all these guys. I've known Mitchell for a while. I've known Josh for a long time. And when I watch these guys, like, I pay attention. When I'm ready, I will run. But until then, I try to keep my channel, open, and I try to put videos up when I can. But I pay attention to other people around me and try to learn, like you said, keywords and the thumbnails. And, I was playing around with thumbnails a couple months ago, and I just did a couple, and it was like, those videos have done okay, but consistency and
that's big.
being able to know that you'll do better next time. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like,
it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, I mean, I've seen videos where people do not edit, and I try not to edit, honestly. And they still have a decent channel because they figure it out. It's like we're talking right here. We're live. There's no editing.
Yeah.
So if you use that right now, I use that mindset when I do pre-recorded, is I act like I'm doing an interview with someone. And I'll just be like, oh, I sold this cup, blah, blah, blah. But I'm really acting like I'm live, so I don't have to do any editing.
I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that when you build a video, when you construct the video, like, it's almost a backwards process from what you think. This is like what the greatest on YouTube, this is Mr. Beast and his team do. They make the thumbnail first. So you need,
She won
the Louis Vuitton last night. She said taking notes.
Congratulations, Mary.
Make your thumbnail first. Okay, so if I'm thinking of a video idea, and let's say I'm going to think, okay, I want to do my top 5 shipping tips. Okay, that video has been done. How do I make the thumbnail great? All right, I want to make the thumbnail me taking a hammer to a box. All right, because people are gonna be like, what is she doing? And maybe I'll have glass exploding or something, or be holding a shiny glass object in a hammer, and then they got to read like how to make your package survive USPS shipping, something like that. And so then I build all of this. The thumbnail and the title already exist before I ever push record.
Yeah.
And so many people are doing it backwards. And I did it backwards for so long, where I would make the video and then I would sit there for an hour. Now, what should the title be? Now, what should the thumbnail be? When the title and the thumbnail is the most important part, build that first and then make the video around it.
Now, what is your Rachel, what is your time, like, so say for instance, I mean, it all depends on what you're talking about, but do you have a timeline where you try to stay all the time
for the duration of the video, like how long the video is going to be?
Yeah,
I want mine to be around 20 minutes now. Sometimes they're longer. I just feel like that's good. I know my audience does not like it. My friends do not like it when I put out really short videos. They're always like, I always do everything backwards. They always say, oh, that was so short. And so if it's a short video, they don't like it as much. And I have like a pretty generous audience retention on most of the 20-minute videos. I mean, but a lot of times they'll be between 20 and 30.
I feel like 20 and 30 is more than enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's the problem. That's why I edit mine, because if I didn't edit my videos, they'd be 3 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Melanie just said. Anything under 10 minutes is a short. I feel the same way. Like, I announced last night that I might do Vlogmas again, and they may be shorter videos, but they're still not going to be less than 10 minutes.
And you're doing every day.
a video every single day in December leading
Yeah.
up to
Oh, wow,
Christmas.
okay.
So up until Christmas, like you don't, it's until like Christmas Eve, and then that's the last one.
Me and my wife come up with a good video, a series that we're thinking about, and I would like to try and get it done in shorts instead of an actual video. But you ever heard of the people trade up things?
Yeah.
You take like a paper clip, start off with a paper clip,
Sure.
and you trade up and see how far you can get. I know it's a long processing thing, and that's why I was trying to do shorts with it. Like, see if you can just do a short with it and update and use your. I love your older videos. Subscribe to my channel, now subscribe back.
Don't say that.
No,
It's against YouTube's rules.
But you can say, hey, make sure you subscribe so you can see the next video of what I've traded it for.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
Don't be dumb like me saying stuff. Why did I say that?
Well, I guess the same reason you did what was it? The blow the kiss, the
You
peace
guys, like, I
sign.
blew a kiss. We were going through all my sign-offs last night, and they were painful. And one of them, I blew a kiss. See you guys later. Like I'm on pageants, toddlers and tiaras or something.
Yeah.
One of them, I went peace. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like looking at myself.
She's doing this too.
Illuminati over there. Yeah.
I don't like to go back and like I'll go back and see myself like on a video like if I have to, but I don't like to watch myself.
You learn a lot though.
You do. Tim, what is going on, boss man?
Is that Tim?
Yeah, but like I'll just do like the wave, and then I'll look like, what are you waving about? Like nobody can see it. It's like, what are you doing?
You learn a lot, even watching yourself on a live like this. My husband could attest to this, and he's in the chat. So tell him that I'm not lying here, Drew. My first probably 50 lives, I would go back as soon as we got off of here. I would go watch it because I wanted to know, how did I interview? Was I talking over everyone? Was there anything I did wrong that I should have done right? Did I, how did it look? I wanted to do it right. Yeah, he won't watch his stuff back.
Yeah, I'm with Drew. I can't stand watching my videos back because once I've spent all the time editing, if it ain't right when it goes up, man, oh well. I mean, my wife's all the time getting on to me about the stuff I say.
But I might not know that I drone on forever about something no one cares about unless I watch it back 2 weeks later and I'm like, wow, get to the point, and then I can get better next time.
Right. That is a good point. Yeah, I talk about nothing a lot. A lot of times I stumble on my words and then I just lose my train of thought completely in the middle of making a video. I mean, it just goes away. And so when I'm editing, there's just this long blank space that I have to edit out, So
what do you use to edit with?
I use what's this called? This is called I think it's iMovie,
okay.
Movie Maker for the PC. That's
I use Wondershare Filmora Wondershare, and they have what they call silence detection, and it is so life-changing for me. So I'll import an entire clip, and then I click silence detection and put that up to like 20, anything that drops below 25% for a third of a second or more, cut it out, and it cuts every bit of silence out.
Eric uses that for us.
So good.
Really?
I love it. So then when let's say I script an entire video because I have those 5 shipping tips that I want to give everyone. I write them all out. I can say, okay, I can memorize that, deliver that, and then just be silent for a minute, read the next one. And then when I upload that to Filmora, it's going to put it all together blended.
Yeah.
And I don't have to edit that out myself.
Wow.
How many hours do you spend a week editing?
Every video is like, I would say a short video, I'm going to take 3 hours to edit it, but sometimes it can be 5 or 6 hours to edit.
Golly.
I know I've taken longer than 6 hours before.
I'm just not ready for that.
And I've heard it said, I've heard it said that YouTubers are the worst resellers because
Because you
they
don't have
spend
as much
so much
time.
time on their videos. They're not spending it on their eBay store listing
Oh,
or whatever
it's
they need to
crazy to
be
me
doing.
when people think that you're getting rich as some reseller YouTuber. I'm like, if I spent half the time that I spend on YouTube giving away free advice on my eBay, I'd make a lot more money.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a happy medium,
I love it.
and
I'm a
people
creative.
don't
I have
realize
to
that, like,
create.
yeah, I tell people, like, if that's what you like to do, if you like
Yeah.
to talk to people, get it to where I would love personally. I personally would love to get YouTube to where I could make $100 a week,
Yeah.
$400 for the month. It doesn't seem like a lot, but if I could ever get my YouTube there, I would be happy.
Oh,
That's a
yes,
nice side hustle to do.
that'll pay your gas bill for the month, right, Leroy?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
Right
I
there.
wanted when I started reselling. I wanted to make $100 a week to pay my grocery bill at the time when I
yes,
started eBay.
That's
That's all
awesome.
I wanted.
That's awesome.
And I remember the first time I had $1,000 like net deposited in a week. And I just looked at that number and like it made me emotional because I was like, I started out just wanting to make $100 a week and now it's $1,000 a week. And I just couldn't believe that if you just keep moving forward, like the way the train picks up and YouTube is the same way. And I think ADH Dave said this. When people ask him, should I make a YouTube channel? He says, if you can do it for free for 2 years and be consistent and that won't bother you for free, then yes. If not, if you can't be consistent or if you don't want to do it for free for 2 years, don't. And that's
yeah,
true.
you're not going to be famous overnight. I mean, there's people that make it. I mean, no offense to, to the people that do, but like, it's really hard. And people like different styles. I like the live style.
Yeah.
I focus a little more on eBay, but everybody has their other, if you're full-time, I'm full-time, but I also, do the flea markets tomorrow morning. I'll be at the flea market all day. But you just have to, like you said, you got to be willing to do it and think of it as learning. If you go to college, trade school, anything like that, you're not going to just go there and then start making the money. You're going to do the course, and that's what I look
You got
at
that
YouTube
internship.
Yeah, I look
Yeah.
at YouTube as
Yes.
like it's the course, and you learn. And if you're doing more lounging and you're in people's chats and you're not paying attention or working at the same time, you might have to readjust your what you're doing. But if I stopped eBay tomorrow and I had to go get a job, the guy's going to tell me I got to start at 9. He's going to tell me I get a break at 12. He's going to tell me to go get boxes because he needs me to get boxes. The employer is going to have a schedule for me to do. And if you can teach yourself doing Instagram, doing YouTube, doing eBay, if you can teach yourself somewhat of a schedule, if you push the button, you cancel everything right now. When you go work for somebody tomorrow, they're going to tell you you're going to have to do it. So if you can
could have just done that for yourself.
If you can figure out how to, and sometimes readjust. Like right now, I'm in the middle of readjusting, and it's okay.
And I love the freedom that reselling and being an entrepreneur gives you because, like, for the last week and a half, I had to kind of turn everything off and focus on my family, on like I customize their Halloween costumes every year, and we had a Halloween party for Israel's class that we needed to get together.
I saw your costumes.
Thanks. I'm just so glad to be able to say, pause, we're going on a field trip today. We're going to the class party. We're going to do all these things, and I don't have to miss anything, like that's big for me.
So real quick, I want to ask both of you this. It is fourth quarter, so let's just start with Leroy. How is your fourth quarter going on eBay?
I'm on a sale mode. I was away, so right now my store is on sale. To be honest with you guys, my eBay store doesn't change with fourth quarter because I sell 90% of hand tools and hardware. So it's a constant need for it as long as I list it and put it out there for the right price. But, if I'm not doing, like, I was away for 7 days, and I'll tell you guys a little trick I tell everybody now. I don't really care. But when I go away, I make sure I'm only away for like 4 to 5 days. And when I do that, my handle time right now is 1 day. But when I go away, I'll change it to 3 or 4 days. Um, and then what I'll do is I put my store on sale while I'm away. So I'll go, if your stuff is sitting in your store, everybody has their own method. My method is list it low, let it go. If I put it in, my store, it's been there for a while. Um, I'm okay with dropping my price as low as I can. So right now I got a 30% off, no, 40% off sale of everything except for 100 items in a 1,000 item store.
Nice.
But once the weekend comes, I come back to Monday, I'll make up the little bit of money that I'm short because I haven't been listing. Then I'll reamp and list all new things. But to answer your question, fourth quarter doesn't really change for me. I do a little bit better after Christmas because a lot of people get gift cards, and and Kevin has said it, and he gave me credit for it. I tell a lot of people, please, everybody who's listening to us, for Christmas, buy your family members eBay gift cards. You are an eBay seller. Invest in what you're doing. They don't have to buy from you.
Yeah.
But if you have 15 people to buy for, buy 8 gift cards.
And put your affiliate link on that gift card.
But you don't even have to do that. But invest into the platforms that you sell on.
I agree with you there. I don't shop on Amazon because I don't sell on Amazon. Why would I shop there? Why would I shop there?
Everybody did that. If everybody in the community bought 10 gift cards for their family members for Christmas, eventually it's gonna come back to you. I promise.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Eventually someone's going to, and it may be that you have a lot of family members that don't have any experience or don't have good experience with eBay. So this could be their first experience. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that they had new stuff. I didn't realize that Adidas has their own store on eBay. I thought it was just a garage sale, and people that don't like used things avoid it. And I'm like, there's plenty of brand new. Dyson has their own eBay store. There's so many big companies that have their own storefronts on eBay.
You know how many things I buy off of eBay comes in the Amazon box?
I purposely paid more for an item once to get it off of eBay because I do not shop on Amazon, period. And they drop shipped it from Amazon, and where I knew it was cheaper, but I didn't, and I was so infuriated about it. Drop shippers do not bother me, except that time it did because I wanted to support the person on eBay, and they just drop shipped it from Amazon.
So how are your sales so far in the fourth quarter, Rick?
They'd probably be a lot better if I would list more, but I am turning on back on all my listings. So I have been super remiss. It's kind of like what you said earlier about you got so much stuff to get done, and then sometimes we're the worst resellers because at the end of the day, you're thinking, okay, well, I schedule, and I've been doing a lot of whatnot. I have a whatnot tomorrow. So I've been taking a lot of my eBay inventory. If I had it my way, I would cut my store almost in half right now. I have a lot more listings than what I want. I'm not able to go do the estate sale hauls because I don't have the space to keep any of this anymore. And so many of those are things that I wouldn't necessarily pick up anymore. They're great items, but it's not really what I truly am passionate about selling. So I've been taking a lot of it. Yeah, I'm just liquidating it. I'm just taking it straight over to Whatnot and selling off in bulk. I did more of my cookbooks. So I'm almost, it feels weird to be pumping listings into eBay because I'm trying to see that listing number go down. And it has. I was up to, I think at 1,700, and I'm down to like 1,200 and something now. So I know that I am dropping it. That is good, but I want it way lower. And so I'm just trying to get rid of that stuff. So some of them, sometimes I think I'm focusing so much more on other platforms and other things, but it'll surely improve when I improve my listing myself. I have no one to blame but me.
Right.
I want to get up to 1,600 by March.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's my whole issue myself is that I don't know if you noticed, Rachel, but I travel every Sunday, except for there's a couple weeks like this week I didn't have to, but I go every Sunday to Georgia. Of course, I go on Sundays for church because I do the live feed for my church. and then I stay Monday, Tuesday, and come home on Wednesday night after church. So I work a 9 to 5 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when I'm in Georgia. So my only time that I have for YouTube, eBay, Poshmark, Macquarie, whatnot, or any of the other ones is Thursday and Friday,
Mm,
and half a day on Saturday. So that's the only time. So with that
yeah.
said, so now I'm putting only 30% of my time into my store.
Yeah.
Now, I was on last week. I was on List Perfectly listing party, I believe is what they call them. It's the first time I've ever been on one of them shows, and I was in one of the rooms, and I I was talking to a lady in there, and she was telling me, she says, because I explained to her my issue too, because we was talking about that, and she says, why not try on Thursdays and Fridays and try and, instead of trying to put out as many items as you can those 2 days, you still do that, but spread them out, because
Mhm.
if you're not listing on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then
Yeah.
it's going to hurt you. So if you schedule your items to go
Mhm.
out on that day, it'll help. So I tried that last
Keep
week.
them in your drafts, and then it's free. If you
Well,
schedule it, it's like 10 cents a listing, I think.
it didn't charge me a listing.
Oh,
It didn't charge me
cool.
a listing fee. I've scheduled out 10 listings a day all this week except for yesterday. Of course, I listed yesterday, and I did the end and sell similar today. So with that said, I since the 27th, October 27th, which was last Friday, my sales have always been real low, but they've been sometimes, I mean, they jump way. I mean, it's just really weird how my store works. I only have 800 items in the store, but like I only had 12 sales for the whole week.
Mm.
And so, and that's all on me, I believe,
I
because
know.
I don't have
Anytime my store dies, I'm the one that killed it.
right, right, and that's what I think. A
I'm
lot of
holding the knife over here.
right.
Like
So
I'm not gonna complain and blame everyone else.
I wonder, Leroy must have lost connection or
He
something.
must have. Hi, Soda City.
Yeah.
I saw Shane pop in.
Let's see. Let's see. 12 is not bad. No, I don't think it's bad for a whole week. I don't. I mean, I have sold 12 in a day. That was way back
What do
when.
you primarily sell?
Everything. I
Everything.
sell everything.
Doesn't matter.
And
Gotcha.
no, it doesn't. And see, and I also do. I also have whatnot, and
Yeah.
I do now what they call walk-in shop. I
Oh,
go
cool.
into.
Like
I
top
go
your
into.
shelf. Oh,
No, I go into an antique store, a local antique store.
how's that going for you?
I'm very sorry, my battery died on my computer. Okay, Leroy said his battery died on his computer. It's okay, Leroy. Thanks for messaging me and let me know. So I go into my local antique shop every Thursday at 11 a.m. It's scheduled out on my whatnot, and I go in and I show what's there, and then if someone's interested in it, I give them a price for it, and they buy it right there.
How much do you mark stuff up when you do that, since they can see the actual price?
Yes, I do 50%.
Okay, so an
So
additional 50%. If it's
if the item,
$10, it's going to be 15.
yeah, it varies on what the items is. If a lot of it's $4, it's going to be six.
Okay.
And I do that because, of course, I got to pay for. A lot of people have. I could be wrong in this thinking, but a lot of people. There's some people out there that disagree, and there's some people out there that agree. But in my mind, okay, I got to pay for fees on whatnot,
Hmm.
and I got to pay for the packing supplies on whatnot.
And your time, like it's not
Right.
your
And
time
my
isn't
time.
free.
So I don't think 50% is a bad markup at all. Because if you
No.
find something for $4 and you sell it for six, you're only going to make $4.77 or something like that on
It's hardly
whatnot.
worth it.
Yeah.
Poshmark, like with Poshmark's fees, they say 20%, but anything less than what is it, $15 or whatever is $3 minimum. Like they have a minimum. So you might consider like a $5 minimum or 50%. But like the minimum
Right.
being, I mean, because it's not going to be worth your time if you can't make at least, a couple dollars an item at least.
Yes. Well, see, we found four pairs of Jordans, and somebody bought a pair on there. And this is what I did. They were $15. They bought them for 20. So, but the guy actually sold them to me for 10. So
Oh,
I did make a little bit on the Jordans. So
because you also have to pay whatever the taxes is at your antique mall when you
yes,
go up
yeah,
there. So, and you got to pay taxes, you got to pay fees. Like yeah, I wouldn't do it for $2 extra.
right. So I'm just started this. This is like the third week I've been there. The
It could
first
help
week,
build an audience, though.
right? It can. And the third week, the first week, I had nothing. I don't even think I had anybody. I think I had 2 people show up. The second week, I had 5 or 6 people show up. I
Okay.
sold 2 items. Yesterday, I had 10 to 15 show up, and I sold 3 items, but they all were high dollar items. So, but I still, I mean, after after fees and everything, I was there for 2 hours and I made $13.
Hmm.
So, I mean, is it worth it? To me, it just drives traffic to my channel. Brings people to my whatnot channel. So to
Yeah.
me, as long as I'm not losing money, I think it's worth it. Flip the World told me, he says the first 4 months that
They
he was
lost
doing,
money.
yes, the first 4 months he was doing the bins thing, he lost money.
Yeah.
So to actually be able to earn a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, show that that's a positive. I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, they lost money and now they've abandoned all of their platforms. Like him and Stacy solely do whatnot because they make
Mhm.
so much money. They do so well. They have such a great community around there. Yeah.
Let's just say it. Found a rare Disney never opened car in a thrift store. I paid $1.98 for it and sold 2 days. It's $47.
Nice.
That's nice. That's nice, Woodrow.
That's
I
awesome.
found a 3 weeks ago. We was in Georgia and I was at a thrift store, and you know the Facebook portals that of course it takes 2 people, one
Oh, the
person.
camera screen
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Hmm.
camera screens. All right, I found 2 of them, brand new, still wrapped. They sold both of them to me for $50. I took them home and listed them. And me and Leroy was doing a show that night. It was on a Friday, and it was after show, and me and him was talking. And while we were talking, they sold both of them together. They sold for $170.
Wow.
I got that was a quick turnaround. I mean, they hadn't been listed 2-3 hours, because I listed them before we went on the show. We was on the show about an hour and a half, and then they sold. So not even 3 hours. So that was
That's
just
perfect. Like that is just check the sell through, check the sell through, check the sell through. Because like someone was talking about an item. I'm not even gonna say what the item is because I don't want anyone to know who it was today. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna pick that up. I don't like that. And then I checked the sell through just to see if I was wrong. 3,700 listed and 400 sold. I'm like, it's a little more than 10% sell. No, I'm not holding on. And that's what I'm saying. I want to get rid of liquidate a lot of my stuff because the sell through is not there. I shouldn't still have some of these items, but I was excited about finding one sold comp, not
oh yeah.
realizing that there were 10 listed, and I would be like, oh, look, it sells for da 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 da.
And
But
see, that's exactly what happened to me when I first started. I had no idea what a soul comp was. I had no clue. And when I first started, I was buying anything and everything that I saw other resellers sell on YouTube. If they sold it, I bought it to sell. And then, of course, I ended up with.
I just think there's so many items that people give such a bolo hype to that are not bolos. Like, stop saying that this thing is so fantastic when it's not. There's the rare 2 of them that might be worth something.
Yeah.
The rest of them are kind of garbage. Like we talked about Revereware in one of your chats recently when I was talking about how to date the Revereware.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we talked about that because people will be like, oh, it's Revereware. Oh my gosh, it's Revereware. Well, some of that Revereware goes for less than $20 a pan. Now, some of it, you get the pre-1964, that's going to go for, it's not you, Anthony, but you saw who it was. Except me wondering if it's me. No, he picks up good stuff. Anthony picks up, his sell-through rate is phenomenal. Anthony, why don't you just tell everyone how many you have listed and how many sold? Yes, no lows. No low. Don't pick it up. And that stuff's not worth anything. And if they made 1,000 different models, 2 of them are worth something. And people be like, oh, pick up every single one of XYZ that you ever see. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's
Are you still a mod on here?
Me?
Yes.
I'm sure that I am. I can't join the chat right now because it says I'm not signed into YouTube.
Oh, okay. What's pick up anything with that chicken? You're right. I'm that way now too. I want to go back up. There's a question up here. Not really a question, but a comment, and I want to touch on that because you know a lot about Whatnot. You have a lot of videos on Whatnot, and I've
Thanks.
learned a lot from your stuff too. This one says that Soda City Flips says I love Whatnot, slowly growing my following here, there. Need to schedule more shows and been a few weeks. And what I wanted to talk about that is that I have learned. Now I still don't have a huge following. I don't. I do a show and I might have 5 people come in my show, but the old saying is all you need is 2 people in that show
Mhm.
to want what you got. But I found be consistent with your shows, be consistent with your shows, and just stay at it. And I just feel like it'll eventually show up. I'm having more here lately since I started the antique shop and walk with me. I'm having more and more people bookmark my shows. I'm having more and more people show up in my shows than what I've had before. Like I had 15 people show up in this last show, and that's the most I've ever had show up in a show. Period. While I was alive.
Do you have 15 at one time?
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Okay,
about. One
so
time.
here's even better is once you end your stream, see how many people you had overall because it gives you that metric now. And you're like, wait a minute, there was 98 people that came in and out of there because that number doesn't seem to change, but you constantly see people joining and Whatnot. People are constant. It's a revolving door. It is as if you had a brick and mortar and you had people coming in all day long, but there were never at any time in your store where there was never more than 5 people walking around. Well, you wouldn't think, oh, I only have 5 people today. You would say, I had 100 people come into the store today.
Yes,
You have so many more people than you realize in your Whatnot, you know?
I think the second show I had 78 people because I
Look
know
at
it.
this. 212 active, 130 sold.
Yeah, this. I mean, what are you selling, Anthony?
He has a full-time job and he does like eBay as a side hustle, but he's great at it. He sells a lot of toys, Lego. He sells a lot of collectibles, tons of vintage stuff. He's got great inventory.
Golly, it's only need one person who wants what.
Okay, so Drew had a show. Drew is on Whatnot now too. And for anyone that wants to sign up on Whatnot but is on the waiting list, I have a link. It's only good for the next week. That'll get you like approved. You do a one-on-one onboarding.
I seen
but
that
anyway,
video. I seen that
yes,
video. Put out.
It's an immediate onboarding with a guy
awesome.
from Whatnot. I know I literally had to beg them for that. So I hope lots of people used it. But Drew has started selling on Whatnot and he had a show the other day. He sold 1 or 2 pair of shoes, right? And his show, let's say, went about 90 minutes. Well, I had a show that went 90 minutes, 2 hours, and I sold 22 items, but my items were really inexpensive $2 and $3 items. Our payout was almost exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at it and you can be like, okay, let's say she made $48. He made $48. We're just going to say that over 2 hours. Well, think about it. His took him 10 minutes to package. He had 1 or 2 items. Mine took me an hour to package. And so I'm like, there might be something to it because Drew does not do $1 starts. He does $90 starts. He will do $60 starts. He sells new shoes over there and his prices are high for Whatnot. They're still discounted.
So he's just running a sale over there. He ain't doing an auction.
I mean, they're auctions, but yes, like no one's bidding each other up. You know what I mean? Like, right. But at the end of the day, it's almost a smarter mindset in some ways because he will eventually build the crowd to make where they will be bidding against each other. So right now, if he goes for 2 hours and he sells 1 or 2 pair, he only has to ship 2 things and he made the same as I did selling 23 things. And now I have to ship 2 hours. Sometimes I do estate sale Whatnots and I sell nothing but breakables. Why would I do that? It literally takes me 4 hours to ship after a show like that. And I'm selling Whatnots for like $6, $8 little figurines. So it's not like I'm getting rich off of it.
Thank you, Soda City Flips. I appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Bye, Shane.
Shane. Okay. Thank you, Shane. But yeah, Whatnot is a different, I got a stack of comic books and some die cast over there that I'm going to run a show later. But I just hold on a minute.
Well, I just love being smart.
Okay.
I can't
But
compliment him too much. I mean, his hats aren't all adjustable, and I don't want to make his head big. So,
but so when I do my shows, it's sometimes it's depressing to me, be quite honest with you, because you got to start stuff at $1 because that's what people's looking for, and then him being able to start it at a higher price, like $90, and then make, I mean, that's great.
listen, I was in a lady's show last night. She had like three
Here it
people in
is.
there, and she was starting stuff. Yeah, don't do it. Do not do that, Chris. This lady was starting stuff at 20, 14. I bought something from her, and as cheap as they come. And I was like, you know what? I don't hate what she's doing here because, again, I watched her sell 3 items and make more selling those 3 items than I made on my last sale, selling like 15 things. And I'm like, who's smarter here? It might be the people that are doing the higher end stuff at higher end starts. I saw a Chanel bag sell for $3,700 on there yesterday. People are spending money on whatnot.
Wow, that's crazy. Real quick, do you do Poshmark? Do you sell on Poshmark?
I keep, every time we bring up whatnot, I'm like, oh, I need to tell you about this. I just got approved to do Poshmark lives.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'm gonna take clothes over there and do Poshmark. I sell on Poshmark, but I'm gonna do Poshmark live.
Long then, have you?
No, I've been on Poshmark the same amount of time.
Oh, really? Okay. I was approved for lives last year. That's why.
Oh, thanks a lot. Rub it in, Chris. Wow. Wow. I had to send emails, beg them, tell them I was about to speak at a conference about live selling. And I couldn't even talk about live selling on their platform because they wouldn't approve me.
Oh, wow.
Thanks. They just gave it to you, huh?
Well, actually, I entered in when they was doing the beta.
Yeah. So I just got approved, and I want to. Have you had one?
Have I had a show? Yeah, I've run silent shows all the time. I've run.
Do silent shows work for you?
I have sold in silent shows. Yes, I'm not a regular show runner on Poshmark, but I do want to tell you about a specific show, and I will tell you something about the shows on Poshmark. So, see, it just left me, just like that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I've run silent shows. Sometimes I sell, sometimes here, Sidekick. There's an app called Sidekick. Okay, Sidekick for Posh. Okay, when you sign up for Sidekick, you get a 7-day free trial on it, and then I can't remember how much it is a month. It's like $30 a month or something like that, and it does all your sharing and all that stuff and sends out all that. The Sidekick also, you can schedule these out. You can also run silent shows through Sidekick, meaning you can turn the silent show on, pick your items, and turn it off, and you can walk away and you can go do whatever you want, and your silent show will run without you being there. It'll run automatically, and that's on the Sidekick app. But what I originally wanted to say about the Poshmark, if anyone in here is interested in weird shows, I found this guy.
How weird? Wait, how weird?
It's the show's called it's called Wacky Weird Wednesdays.
Okay.
And the guy's name is Waleed_Muhammad or something like that, and he does it with another lady named Jennifer. He runs 3 trays, and what they do is every Wednesday night, they have regular shows throughout the week, but every Wednesday night you enter it's one of them share, where you can share your item to the show. And you enter the weirdest item you have. I mean, there's been some crazy stuff, and then they'll sell it for you. I've been there 2 nights, and I've sold. Last Wednesday night I sold 2 items. This Wednesday night I sold 2 items. So I moved my items through his show. Now, granted, that's only 4 items, but that's 4 items that hadn't been sitting and hadn't sold.
And it might have been looked at as just weird, but at this show, they were weird. They were cool. Now,
here's the kicker about this show. Now, this is great for ladies. This guy does purses. If you, when the first tray is run, when each tray is run, at the end of each tray, the funniest item, the highest price sold item, and the weirdest item, the audience votes on them, okay, gets a free purse. I've set we watched him give away Louis Vuitton purses, watched him give away she's in the other room. I can't anyway, these extravagant, what do you call them, high-end dollar purses. He gives them away as a prize, and apparently this guy is really well known in the community. because there's never less than 300 people in this show. I mean, I've seen it up to 450 people in this show,
Wow.
and it's just a really fun show. It's really,
Wacky Wednesday.
yeah, wacky weird Wednesday or something like that. My Wally, just look up WALEED and then underscore, and I'm sure to pull it up.
Nice.
Let's see. Drew says, what did he say? He says, I saw a pair of off-white Jordans go for $1,300 on Whatnot. Holy cow! See, this antique store I got, he has a size Jordans that are red and white. They're size 13. He's got a black pair in there, and then he's got another like white and yellow pair in there. Let's see, the black pair is at 40, the white pair is at 50. No, 45, and the other pair is at 35. So if they're selling at a good starting price, then I don't see why I couldn't start what they should go for, right?
I mean, Jordans are like vastly different price depending on what you have. If you have something basic and it's like a mid, I think those go for less. But if you have like the red, black, and white, the original breads are going to go for a lot. But like what he's talking about, Off-White Jordans, Off-White is a brand that collabed with Jordan. So it's Virgil Abloh was the designer, and Off-White, anytime, they're kind of like Supreme, like a hype streetwear company. Off-White collabed with them, and those, they do go for a lot of money, Off-White. Okay. They're not the color Off-White.
So where did you, I mean, I'm pretty amazed in how far you've come in a short period of time.
Thanks.
With what I really am. And I don't know if it's because you have the what's my word I'm looking for? You definitely have a lot of energy. I know people like that because when you watch your shows, I'm just like, slow down.
Sometimes people tell me, they're like, just don't talk so fast. And I said, I thought that Southerners got made fun of because we talk too slow.
So are you originally from the South too?
Yeah, from Southeast Missouri.
That's not the South.
Where I'm at is the South. We're south of the Mason-Dixon. Yeah, we're not. When I say Missouri, people think Kansas City or St. Louis. We're less than an hour from Arkansas.
That's still not the South. That's Midwest.
No, we're not the Midwest. No, who was it? Was it Rob Junk Monkey that called me a Midwesterner once?
Yeah,
we had words. Absolutely not a
Midwesterner. Drew should understand this because Drew's from the South. He's from Tennessee.
We're less than an hour from Tennessee too. So right where Tennessee and Arkansas join, that's the Boot Hill, Missouri. Yeah. And the Boot Hill is cut the way that it is because a farmer didn't want his land to be a part of Arkansas, and that's where we live.
That's funny.
Yeah, we're not St. Louis.
I have a friend that lives in Maryland, just underneath the Mason-Dixon line, and he says he's a Southerner, and I says, no, you're in Maryland.
It's hard because I visited West Virginia once, and they said they were calling themselves Southerners. I was like, West Virginia, but it is technically south of the Mason-Dixon. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I was born and raised in Georgia.
Yeah,
I live in South Carolina right now, so. I have lived in California. I have lived in Arizona. So I've been out there. Woodrow. So I believe, and my South is Alabama, Florida, Georgia,
just South deep Carolina. South. Now wait. If you're willing to claim Florida as a southern state, you should claim Southeast Missouri because Florida is full of
Florida is as southern as you can get.
Okay, geographically, but they're all Yankees.
Yeah, true.
That's the most northern southern state. Yeah,
but we're not talking about the people that live there, though.
Yeah, that's the deep South, is what you're talking about. Which I love the deep South. I mean, people are just nicer in the South. We've traveled all over, and there's just something about.
I don't know. My wife says I'm mean, so I don't know.
When you're watching people's Pickin videos, they don't even have to say anything. You can tell when you're at a yard sale in a video, geographically where you're at, because people in yard sale videos from up north, they're very curt, they're very blunt. They no one's trying to make small talk. They're not. the sweetest. But then you watch a Southerners video and they're sitting there chit chatting and making small talk, and they might even invite you in for sweet tea, and they're going to go out of their way to get you what you want at the yard sale. And the people from the north are like, buy it or don't, like, get off my lawn. They're just
Right. This
sorry
is
if
my
that offends anyone.
this is my wife right here, junking for dollars is what she come up with.
She
last
said
night.
you are mean.
Yeah, that's what she says. She always says that. So, but yeah, I just tried to think. There was something else I wanted to on the reselling side. So, what would you, for someone that's just getting started in the reselling, what would you reckon? What was a mistake that you made that you would tell someone not to make?
I definitely didn't rush out and buy a whole lot of. I mean, I did, but not a. I know people that have went and bought entire sheds full of stuff. So it wasn't a mistake I made, but I would say that that's a mistake I see a lot of people make. Don't go rushing out and buying a lot of stuff. I didn't have the funds to do that, which probably kept me from it. But over the time, I definitely accumulate more than what I list. So don't do that. Start again with the stuff around your house, but only if it's stuff that's going to sell. Like we always tell people, start with stuff you're not wearing anymore. Well, you could list all the plain blue t-shirts in your closet that you want. If they're not going to sell, then you're going to think reselling sucks and this isn't for me. So you are going to need to look around your house and find stuff with a good sell-through rate. Check the sell-through. One of my biggest things that I did though, and I probably did this for the first 4 years, I would say, of my reselling, is I set a budget, and the item had to be phenomenal before I would pay more than, this is going to make me sound so cheap because I am, $5. That was my budget. If it had to be making me a lot of money very quickly before I would spend more than $5 on an item. And now that's not the case, but that's because I've learned so much and I research so much, and I'm always trying to learn. I don't enjoy personally the sourcing videos as much because I'm not learning as much. I like the what sold videos. Watch people's what sold. Research what sold. You could make your own BOLO list just going on eBay. Type in, I don't know, suppose you want to know what VHS actually sell. So type in VHS, click sold, and then sort by highest to lowest. Now you are going to have to filter through some money laundering at the top, but eventually you'll get to find out. That's how I learned that horror VHS is what sells. It wasn't anyone telling me that on YouTube because people weren't talking about that yet. That's how you learn about so many things, is just type in whatever category it is. I want to know what women's pants sell. So I'm going to type in women's jeans, and then I'm going to click sold for just see the sold comps, and then I'm going to click sort by highest to lowest, because I don't want to know what jeans sell. I want to know what jeans sell for the highest amount. And then I can see, oh, okay, these are the BOLOs. So you don't have to pay for a BOLO list. Don't pay for information. It's free. It's all over YouTube for free. I learned how to resell for free, either through my own research or on YouTube. But there's so many people that want to see you succeed. Leroy was saying, when you stepped out earlier to grab something, that there's so many different niches and genres that different people in our community know about. Like, lean on them. Make friends with people in the community who know about an Anna Lee doll, and they can stop you from spending a lot of money on those because you probably shouldn't pick them up. Or they know they're the person that knows about Christopher Radko ornaments, or she's the Mary Garcia is my glass lady. I'm gonna ask the merchants every time, hey, is this good glass? Is this fire and light crystal? Is this whatever? And they can tell you right away. People message me, is this Gucci real? No, run. Do not spend money on that. That is fake. And I can help you authenticate that type of stuff. Everyone's kind of an expert in something. And if you give into this community, then you're going to be able to pull out of the community. So when you're in that position where you need some help, somebody can back you up and help,
Right. And see, and what you just said, that goes to show. I have comments in some videos that people say that what sold videos are non-productive for the community, and I completely disagree with that, because you learn so much. Yeah, I mean, so it's
yeah.
I can't even watch Come and Phil Picker sourcing channel, but I watch every single one of his flipping.
It's why I don't make sourcing videos very often. If I do a sourcing video, it has to be sandwiched in with other things I'm doing, or a vlog style or something, because I don't enjoy watching someone shop at a thrift store. I used to. I think that's the entertainment side. And I think the
Right.
people that watch those videos, and that's why a lot of people will separate that into a separate channel. I think people that aren't resellers that just enjoy watching you shop at a garage sale or watching you, they also watch American Pickers. Well, you know what they don't show on American Pickers? They don't show those guys cleaning it and how to repair it and how to sell it. And that's the stuff I'm interested in. I want to know, well, that was his speculation on what he might get, but what did he actually get? What was the sell through? How long did it take him? Because that's where I'm getting numbers that I could actually use for my business, because I'm going to treat my business like my business and I don't need to watch your shop. I'm sorry. I'm probably making somebody mad because they do only sourcing videos, and I'll watch some of my friends' sourcing videos just to support them, but it's not my favorite.
So let me ask you, I'm going to tell you I'm going to ask you the same question, but the question is what is, and it gives you time to think while I talk, what is you think your best sale ever as far as ROI goes? Uh, um, Return on investment, like high, right? Whatever you think your ROI is, what do you think your best sale is ever doing it? And I'm going to tell you what mine was. I had two actually, and this is what, when I first started eBay, I watched Josh Harry Tornado pick up aluminum bats at yard sales, and I also saw him sell those aluminum bats. I had no idea anything about aluminum bats or anything. I picked up one for 25 cents at a yard sale. I got it home and I did some research on it and found out that that particular bat sold new for $600.
Awesome.
And it was an aluminum Louisville Slugger, certain type. And so I had no idea what I needed to do with it. And I says, well, I got 25 cents and it's used. So I don't know what the used ones are really going to go for, because they was, I didn't know about sold comps and all that stuff and all that back then. I was just a dummy. I was just paying attention to what I was seeing on YouTube, and that's what it was. So I started an auction at $50. I says, hey, if I can make $50 off 25 cents, I'll be good. 7 days later, that bat sold for $350, and it went to California, and it blew my mind. I was just like, "Holy cow! This is it right here." A year later, I started learning about. I'm probably going to say this wrong. Blow molds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I started learning about, not really learning them. I started seeing videos where people were picking it up, telling you there was a bolo. You need to pick them up when you see them, blah, blah, blah. I went to a thrift store in North Carolina, and there was 4 Christmas elves that were probably a foot and a half tall, and they were blow molds, and they wanted $10 each for them. And I had no idea. I could look them up. I didn't see anything on them or anything. And so I bought them for $40. Well, and this was before Christmas of that year. They sit in my storage unit till the end of January after Christmas. And we just clean out storage unit, and I says, oh my God, I didn't list these things. I says, well, I'll go ahead and list them. I'll list them high right now. That way, because Christmas time is gone, but I'll go ahead and list them high. If they sell, they sell. If they don't, I'll be able to put them on sale when Christmas time comes around. I sold them for $900.
Oh my God.
Plus shipping, and they went to California also within a week.
Buyers for Christmas are buyers all year long, Christmas and Halloween both.
Yeah, I could not believe that. I mean, that's my two biggest sales. Other than
I hate that you had to ship them both to California, but that's
epic. There was 4 of them. I put them in a big.
I mean, both the sales, those and the bat. But
oh yes. It was crazy. So what about you?
I kind of have 2 that come to mind, to be honest with you. I mean, I've had a lot of interesting sales, like, a used gum wrapper, but the ROI wasn't there, but those are interesting things. But as far as ROI, so 2020, I was still selling real estate pretty full time and kind of working, reselling as a side hustle. And when everything shut down, I'm like, people don't want a real estate agent in their house. They don't want anyone in their house. They also don't want an electrician in their house right now because a lot was unknown. So my husband is an electrician. So I was like, what are we going to do? We still have to pay our mortgage this month. And I knew, like, I started clearing some stuff out, and I asked this girl that is kind of addicted to going to the gym if she wanted these weight plates that I had. She didn't want them. And I thought, oh, I bet they're selling on eBay right now because everyone's gym is closed down. And then I looked them up and I was like, and I sold all that I had. And I thought, you know what we're going to do? We're going to find some weights. We're going to find someone in town because plenty of people have the treadmill they throw clothes on. They have the weight bench they're not using. And I thought about a guy in town that I know that had a handmade tree out in his yard that had all these weight plates on it. And I messaged and I asked, could I buy the weight plates? They were vintage, some of them older, some of them deteriorated. And we worked out $75 was what I was going to pay for this whole tree of weight plates. And it was a lot of work. That's why, like, I don't know if this one is a first place or a second place, because if you think about the amount of work that went into shipping all of those weights, my family was like exhausted. It was all hands on deck, but we were all home 2020. So it was okay. We used everyone. I ended up selling those for like $3,500.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, but it was over and fast. I mean, within, Drew, if you're still in the chat, 2 weeks, would you say it took
You
us?
sell them all in a lot?
No,
separate?
individually. We laid them out on the sidewalk. We pressure washed them. We took pictures and sold them individually over the next 2 weeks for like $3,500.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
so much work though, and USPS hated me, and a few of them got lost, and it was just a lot. But it was like, it kind of catapulted me into thinking. He says I still hated those. Yeah,
Yes,
everyone
yeah.
looks with disdain now at the weights, and that actually got my oldest son into reselling, because whenever Walmart finally restocked, I said, Dello, do you want to buy some weights? He said, yeah. And a lady had paid him $37 to pick up sticks in her yard that summer. He was 14. And he took that $37, he bought weights, and he turned that into $200 and bought the scooter that he wanted.
Oh wow.
They did. They hated us. They wouldn't even pick up our stuff. We had to take it in, and we usually do, but we didn't want to take it in because they were requesting that you not go in person. But we had to take our stuff in because they were not lifting those weights. We would have hundreds of pounds every day of these weights. And so, like, that one comes to mind. But then this other one, see, Melody sold weights too. The other one sale that comes to mind, it was less, but the work was also a lot less, and it was only one sale. So I dropped my kids off for school in the morning, and I went away. I never go, and I saw an estate sale sign throughout the week, and we never have estate sales here. And I hadn't even brushed my teeth yet. Okay. I literally walked out the door to take my kids to school. And so I went home and brushed my teeth. I remember that. That's a funny little detail. Anyway, I go back to the estate sale, and it's these ladies selling basically their aunt's stuff. And I said, how much are these? We do still have a few random ones. They're gonna disappear. Anyway, I said, how much is this silverware? It was like silver plated silverware in a vinyl bag. And she said, $5. And the ladies that were with her, which were her cousins, I think, they were like, oh, it's kind of low. You could tell that that's what they were thinking. And I said, it is low. I'll give you 10 for it. How about double what you asked for? And she was like, hey, that's fantastic. Everyone was happy. I leave because I'm thinking it's silver. It's a set of silver plate. I could probably get $60 out of it, And I get home and I turn it over because I got to know, is it Oneida or Oneida, whatever? Is it community? What is it? It's not silver plated. It's sterling silver.
Oh no.
It's Alvin sterling, and I list it, and it sold for $1,000 to a lady in Georgia, actually, plus $12 shipping. And I had people, while that was listed, it didn't sell as fast. I had people approaching me all the time on messages, and I have the story pinned on my Instagram, where people would say, it's not worth half that. It's worth this. It's worth, and I'm like, I mean, says you, I'm going to keep it up here for $1,000. And it sold for $999 plus $12 shipping from a $10 investment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
you got to be hooked after stuff like that happens. Like, how could you ever name me another job where you're going to turn $10 into $1,000 with the same amount of effort? Because I picked it up, I brought it home and researched it. I listed it, and then I had to ship it. Like, all in all, did I spend less than 2 hours of my life to make $1,000? Name me another job where you're going to do that.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, Dad, you're not going to do that, And I want to tell you something, we talked about what I do, how I only have a little time to put in my store because I guess I'm just a part timer now. I used to be full time. It was all I ever did. And when before I think it was right when COVID hit. I started in 2019, and I'd worked my store up pretty good. I had several thousands of items in across three stores, in eBay, and a Poshmark, and a Corey store, and I just started Whatnot right around 20, sometime during the pandemic. I started Whatnot,
Oh
and
wow.
well, I heard about Harry Tornado. I watched a video when Harry Tornado first started talking about it, and he started investigating. Then he started telling everybody about it and stuff. That's when I applied, and it wasn't long after that that I was able to get on there. So I've been on Whatnot for I think almost 2 years now. But I was averaging $1,000 a week bring home.
On
You know, that's
whatnot?
no on
Oh,
eBay. That
gotcha.
on all not just eBay on all my stores. I'm on my
Gotcha.
Corey, my Poshmark, and all three eBay stores. That's what was going into my pocket at the time,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find a job making that much to bring. I mean, I could find a job making that much, but
Hmm.
you're not gonna. Now, of course, there's those out there where you gotta pay your taxes. Yes, you gotta pay your taxes. You gotta pay for gas. You gotta pay for your. I understand all that, but to when you see that come in every week and you're only taking 10% out of that to go source again just to bring that back in, I mean, come on. I mean, you can't beat that in any job at all.
Especially now
So
when you have the flexibility of being self-employed.
right, and you have so much time, like with you, with your family.
Hmm.
You started when you was pregnant with your youngest son,
Yeah.
so you was able to be at home with your newborn, and help raise your kids. And in today's economy, that's more important than anything.
It's more important than a paycheck's ever going to be to me. I would take a pay cut to stay home with my kids.
Oh, well,
Like
most definitely, most
they are
definitely,
only going to be 7 and 17 now. That's my boys' ages. They're only going to be that once.
right. So, so I let all this up to say I'm redoing my store.
Hmm.
So I'm using Whatnot to get rid of stale items. Is
Yeah.
what I'm
Same.
trying.
We're in this boat together.
Right. So I'm using and be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't care if they start for $1 or not and sell
Yeah.
for $1 or not. I just want them gone
Yeah.
because what I'm trying to do now is because my average sales, because of how I'm doing things, is my average sales are anywhere from 1 to 2 items a day. Instead of selling 10 $10 items a day, I'm trying to get it to where if there's 1 or 2 items I sell a day, anywhere between $50 to $100 a sale, I'm happy. So what
Yeah.
I've started doing is I started investing more money in quality goods,
Hmm.
better quality goods. Like the last big purchase I've made at a thrift store was $50 for a tool. It's the hose that goes on a. Your husband probably knows exactly what I'm talking about on the table saw, and it collects the dust and goes down and puts it in the trash can or whatever it is. And that hose sells for right around $250 to $300. Well, I bought it
Nice.
for $50, so I'm going to get $100 profit on it as soon as I sell it. The only thing that I'm trying to figure out is I know how the sell through rate works. I'm trying to find the items that has like I spent $50 on those Facebook portals, and they sold within 3 hours of
Yeah.
listing them. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get to where the fast turnaround is
Hmm.
because I have very little time for my store right now. And eventually, I want to go back to full time. I don't like driving an hour and a half away and spending 4 days away from my family. I don't like that. I don't
Yeah.
mind driving an hour and a half to go to church and then come home. I don't mind that at all. But to stay there for 4 days away from my family, that gets to me. Because
Yeah.
this business is supposed to allow us, like what we're talking about, have
Right.
more time with our family. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get back to that point there.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart that you're looking for a higher average sales price and a better sell through rate. So, you just need to focus on what was the demand over the last 90 days for those and how many are currently listed. And as long as if the demand is greater than the amount that are currently listed, yours is going to sell within the 90 days, ideally.
Hmm.
If the idea, if the demand is like 9 listed and there's only 2 sold, you know you're going to get that 1 or 2 hour sale.
Oh yeah.
But if you're listing something again, there's 3,000 listed, and in the last 90 days only 400 sold, leave it. Like,
Oh yeah.
especially if you have a smaller amount of time. And going back to trying to get an higher average sales price, that's like what I was talking about with Drew and with the lady selling the Barbie stuff last night. They were selling stuff for more. They were selling fewer items, but the items they were selling was 7 times as much as what I'm starting items out for on Whatnot.
Oh yeah. And see, and here's the other thing that happened to me is, and it's my own stupidity. I just wasn't paying attention. During the pandemic, viewers, listen, during the pandemic era, you could sell dog poop out of a yard in a bag on eBay. You could. I mean, you could sell anything and everything.
Because people go in the stores.
I missed the time, the cutoff, because I was still going out and buying stuff, and then the pandemic era ended, and I'm still buying the same stuff, but now that stuff's not selling. For instance, puzzles.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep a puzzle during the pandemic era. Now I don't even buy them to resell because you can't get rid of them. Same thing with video games. Video games are flying out. Now video games still fly out the door, but not the prices they was. But you back then during the pandemic era, bags, purses, backpacks, gym bags, stuff like that, you couldn't sell them, but now you can. So now you got to. I'm having to
always
switch
pivot.
over. Yes, it has. It's got the pivot point, and new sellers need to understand that. And I think a lot of times
can't give a Funko Pop away right now.
No, you cannot. You cannot give a Funko Pop away. You can't. I got plenty of them, and you just can't. I can't get rid of them. A lot of people got to realize that the new resellers that joined, that started doing this during the pandemic era, those high sales and that really, really good time that we all had during those years of selling 10, 20 items a day, every day, that time is gone because people are allowed to go to stores now. You know, those sales went up when you couldn't go out no more and everything's shut down.
I mean, I heard people were buying Broncos and stuff with the money they were making on eBay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
I heard last night that you bought a Lincoln with stuff. No, wait a minute. No, Poshmark paid for that Lincoln.
No,
was that a joke?
eBay paid for the Bronco. Well, I say eBay. Oh. I paid for it because we worked so hard for it. But honestly, the Lincoln started smoking, and I couldn't get it fixed, and so we decided to buy a new car, and we ended up paying cash for that Bronco out of reselling money. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Junko poo instead of Funko Pop. Junko poo.
Funko is the modern day Beanie
Yes,
Baby.
Yeah. And Beanie Babies comes to mind too. I was in a millionaire's estate the other day, and there were so many Beanie Babies. I was like, "There's a small fortune," but people aren't buying them now. Nobody's today.
Buying them. Yeah, it's just like NASCAR. NASCAR stuff used to be really, really.
So you got to find what is the item that people want right now. Then,
right.
If it's not Beanie Babies, if it's not Funko Pops, like they're still looking for stuff. Don't worry. So what is it? And then pivot and start sourcing that. Because I mean, that's so smart, Chris, that you even say that, because it's not always forever going to be the one thing you sell. You found me because of the Bronco car video. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I did a whole series about it, trading my death pile for a car. When I did that, I did not source at all. I drug my entire death pile out into the living room in my basement and itemized how many items that I had. And then I said, okay, from now until the time we anticipate the Bronco to come in, I got to list everything and hopefully sell most of it. That came down to 50 items a day. And so, yeah, it was like somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. I listed 50 items every single day. I was never so happy to take a vacation than when that was over.
I mean, yeah. What's the item that you hate listing the most?
Clothes. And I like buying them, and I won't even go. There's so many more pictures, and you have to have a whole setup. I can't just sit that on the table.
Yeah,
I have to either use Becky the mannequin over here or put stuff over here. It's just, I hate listing clothes, but I also love sourcing them.
And Drew says, can you drag it out again?
Which part? Oh, the death pile. Thanks, babe. I actually thought about that yesterday. I was like, I need to drag everything. Honey, I'd have to move your whatnot stuff first because he's taking over the basement with his whatnot shoes.
Oh no. So clothes is my worst too. I
That's why I need to do Poshmark Live.
I can't. Now I'm gonna tell you, I think you'll do really, really good on live Poshmark.
I
I
think
think
it'll
you
be
will.
fun. Do
I
you
think.
have to actually list the item in your Poshmark store to offer it?
Okay, no. So
Okay.
silent show you can pick from your store,
Uh-huh.
or you can actually enter the item in. You do get a choice of whichever one you want.
So when you
But
enter, it's kind of like when you enter on whatnot.
yeah, hold on one second. Let me show you real quick. Let's
Yeah, I
see.
feel like if I could get because they have you can't start lower than $3 or $5 over there. I've seen
Okay,
some
so
sell
okay,
on there for lots.
right. So you start at $5, you make $2.05. See this? This is a
Okay.
sale. You start at $3, you make 7 cents. So don't start anything at three. Don't sell anything, or you just. All right, I'm trying to. My closet. My post shows. Okay. So if you want to create a post show, you're able to see this, right?
Hmm.
Okay. When you go down here, you can click live show or silent show. All
Right.
right.
Okay.
So when you click that, it gives you the let's do this right here. Silent show. Uh, and you can cancel it anytime. Uh, testy. Test. Let's see. We'll do what's the day? We'll do this day, and that'll be good there. Just to give you an option, and then you get options. You can show tags, and then you schedule. Okay, so when you schedule a show, you can do this on your phone too. Oh, gotta have a. Let's do this right here. This one. So when you schedule a show, all right. So then you can go in and you
Oh,
can
that looks a
add.
lot like whatnot.
Yep. Then you can go in and you can click on add. You can do quick list or my closet. Okay.
Ah,
When you quick list, you come in here and then you list your item.
okay.
Okay. That you have. All right. Or if you do a my closet,
Hmm.
you pick items out of your closet
Cool.
to do. So, look at this. Can you believe that this? Tell me, is this price too high?
For Patagonia, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. I mean, it's not a brand I find a whole lot, but I know people get a lot of money for it.
I've had this thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's practically brand new. And
It's a large size too. I mean,
yeah, and I've had it forever. I mean, I've sent out offers as low as $75, and nobody wants it.
I know with
So
Patagonia, I feel like people like the Western style prints and the wool and stuff more than anything. So I don't know. I don't know how much those are new. It's not a brand that I really follow a whole lot, but I see people have great success with it. Yeah, because then you still gotta. I mean, that's not worth the car. Yeah, taking it to the post office. That's what Ashley said. At $3, you make 5 cents.
yeah, you make 5 cents on $3, and at $5 you make $2.05. So you need to really start your items. I mean, it's because see, Poshmark is a 20%.
Yeah,
Okay, but if you sell an item under $5 and under, there's an extra charge to it.
I
That's
feel like
that's
it's under $15. They have a $3 minimum. It's never going to be less than $3. So whatever
right.
20% is, it'll never be less than
Well,
$3.
they charge you more for under a certain amount, if I remember right. There's
Uh,
a certain amount you get a threshold you can go over, and then they won't charge you as much. But all right, so it's 7:38. We ran a little over, but that's okay. I've had a good time.
I
Uh,
could talk reselling forever. I just wish that more people knew about it. I wish I knew about it earlier, and I wish everyone just shared what they know because there's room for all of us to win. There's no amazing secret sauce. There's not something, the two of us are doing differently than everyone could be doing. And there's so many people in the chat right now. Some have channels, some don't, and they have so much information. If you
oh
just
yeah.
share what you know, and then I'll learn something from you and we all succeed together, right?
But I'm gonna tell you, I wish I had knew about reselling 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm 50, so uh, I just wish I could have known about it when eBay first came out. I wish I would have learned and looked into it more because I think I love doing this. And the only reason I started a YouTube channel was not to make money. And I almost messed my YouTube channel up. I did. I almost messed up when I first started. And I'll explain what happened there. Is my whole intention of starting the YouTube channel was to talk about and put out information of the mistakes I made so people don't make the same mistakes.
Hmm.
And I got caught up in this one thing about I guess you would say the drama of YouTube, resellers on YouTube. I got caught up and I did put a video out about another YouTuber saying that the YouTubers are to blame for slow eBay sales. And so I made a video about that. And of course, after I made it, I was like, man, I really shouldn't have done that. You know, I never mentioned who the thing was, but my channel the video got a lot of views.
I think that's the first video I saw of yours.
Really?
Mhm.
See, I haven't really, I done like two more kind of like that, but not really. But I quit because that's not what I want my channel to be
Yeah,
about. I don't,
I agree.
you know, because I made a comment because I went into Reseller Information Network and I asked Eric, OBX Picker, I asked him the same question. I says, what do you think about that? And the first thing Eric told me, he says, buddy, I think you got on the wrong side of reselling YouTube channels. And that hit me. It really did. I was like, yeah, this is going to be taking me down a rabbit hole that I don't want to go, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't want to be known as
Because what you're going to attract would be the dramatics. You're going to attract
Right.
people that just will ooze negativity all over. And
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I mean, I can tell just from talking with you that video and that any of that was not the best representation of who you are, because you're a very positive person.
Oh, yeah, I try to be, you know, I mean,
like drama brings people in, so it may have very well, like, God could use something like that to bring the right people into your life, you know. So
right.
The video, like I say, it was the first video I saw of yours. So
oh, wow.
I mean,
that's not good.
I think it was because you and I were both in Will Crawford's live Reseller Madness, and he mentioned it. Maybe were we both in the same live there? We were in his chat.
I met him through a guy named he's probably watching, and I'm going to kick myself. Cannot remember his name, but his channel's called Sniping Profit. He told me, he said to watch his channel, you know, and so I started watching it.
Will's awesome.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. But I did meet you in that channel, one of his lives, and that could have been.
And he was talking about that video, and I was like, well, I need to know what it's about. And I usually am cleaning my house while I'm watching Will, so I put that video on next, and I was like, oh, okay. But then I kept watching your stuff and then connected on Instagram. So
yeah, I was just, you know. So I started. Somebody said something about speaking your mind, and so I started the video series called Speaking Your Minds, and only put 3 videos in there before I just like, wait a minute, this is not the rabbit hole I want to go down. I want to have a positive channel,
yes,
and be able to inform people of the mistakes that I made. Hopefully they won't make the same mistakes. Yeah. And that's where, and I
like
cut
that.
I did try, and I don't think I've been down that rabbit hole since. I've made some unboxing videos of my death pile because we moved. I boxed my death pile up, put it in the loft, and me and my wife, we pulled it down, and we made I think there's 7 videos of us unboxing stuff.
That's cool.
There's stuff still up there. I haven't gotten everything, so I went to that, and then I've done some what sold stuff. I've done some shopping stuff, but since I've started the live thing, earlier this week I put out a video on how to pull a golf club steel shaft from an iron head. Okay, to pull them apart, how to pull them apart, how to separate them. I did a video on that, and that's been the first actual video I've done in probably 3 weeks. So I want to get back to the videos, but I just haven't had the time. Like I said, I'm gone 4 days a week, so it's
hard. It's a lot of time to devote.
I feel overwhelmed a lot. I really do.
I'm with you there.
So everyone, we're gonna blow Rachel up here, and she can tell you what she's got coming up, or pick your nose. What is Drew talking about? Am I picking
Melanie
the note?
said, "Pick your battles." Andrew
Oh,
said, "Pick your battles." My husband, I'll tell you.
let's see. I don't want. That's not the one. How do you?
You
Well,
don't
I'm
have to
trying.
make me big. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So actually tomorrow night on my Whatnot, I'm doing a kickoff to Christmas. Lots of vintage Christmas stuff that I picked up at an estate sale, and I'll probably look through my eBay inventory and see if there's anything else I can bring. But if you guys want to come hang out on Whatnot, look for me over there. The username is Rachel Strickland. If you're not following me over on Instagram, definitely like a more personal look, and I spend a bit more time over there sometimes than YouTube. YouTube videos that are coming up, I'm going to be doing a series with my son, at least a 2-part video about selling Lego, how to identify Lego, how to source it, how to authenticate it, whether or not it's real Lego, terms you should know about Lego. So we're kind of excited about that. And then another video I'm working on right now is a purse haul. So vintage and designer purses that I have bought for myself through thrifting, eBay, Mercari, Whatnot, places like that. And so it's kind of exciting. If you like fashion, then you would like that one.
All right. Everyone, thank you for stopping by today. We greatly appreciate you. Every week I do this show at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Thursday I'm on Whatnot also, Buck Mountain Barn. You can check me out there at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a live show from a antique store. You can walk and shop. Uh, Other than that, all the links are below. Rachel's channel's below, and all that, guys. Please check it out, and we will see you guys on the next show.